Hello there, Pastor Ken of the New Life Church of Dixon, and here's Bailey doing a little something different this time. This morning I thought I'd take him to a forest preserve. Little Bailey sitting there under the shade of a tree, by a fire hydrant. As you know, dogs love fire hydrants. Everybody kind of knows that. Beautiful forest preserve this morning. Pastor Ken of the New Life Church of Dixon, with my little Pro Plan hat. That's dog food, in case those of you that aren't into dogs. Maybe I'm a little bit of a dog person. And then let's see, I've got my that's Pontius Pilate. That's not something you see every day, is a t-shirt of Pontius Pilate. It's not even a religious t-shirt. It is for the Beer Church. The Beer Church. Yeah. It's in New Buffalo. The Beer Church. It's pretty interesting. I was interested in it because it's like, I'm looking for ways of monetizing the church, as well as I don't want to rely just on donations. I saw that church. It's not an active church anymore. Maybe it's not so obvious if you haven't been there. It's a church converted to a restaurant and a brewery, and they brew, microbrew there, and they have a little restaurant area, which is pretty nice, indoor and outdoor. They allow dogs in the outdoor spot, so Bailey got to enjoy the Beer Church. And his t-shirts, very creatively, he uses old iconography that I guess is long since has never been copyrighted, except maybe by the Catholic Church, but I guess they didn't, because Pontius Pilate is on their t-shirts, and some old religious iconography for the Beer Church. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Should I? Looking for ways to support the church. Church memberships way down around the world, and even in the U.S. But the U.S. is one of the most religious nations, but it's still only it's less than by some estimates less than 25% of the people actually attend church. Once a year, twice a year. A lot of people are just Christmas and Easter Christians, so memberships way down, donations are way down, activities are way down. So churches are looking for ways to augment their income, so to speak. So, keep the lights on in this changing world of because what do you think about monetizing the church? Ways of monetizing the church, or is monetizing the church even bad, even good? I attended a very strict religious Lutheran elementary school. They did not believe in doing anything to monetize the church. It was just donations. That's it. There's no bake sales. There's no bingo. There's no church-wide rummage sales. There's no daycares. There's nothing like that. Nothing to generate other income for a church. Do you think that? You think it's okay for a church to have other income? Do you think it's okay for a church to monetize itself? What about selling books? Most books make no money. 9 out of 10 books, no money. But for those few that do, Joel Osteen and Billy Graham and some of the others, a handful of others, you can probably count them on one hand. Makes a lot of money with books. Million sellers. And think it's okay for a pastor to make money from books? I believe Joel Osteen does not take a salary from the church. He just keeps the millions from the book sales. so just that, But what do you think about that? Is it okay to monetize a church? Is it okay to sell stuff through the church? Is it okay to have? What about talking about money in the church? It's kind of one of those taboo topics. A lot of the church people, they don't like talking about money. Me being an accountant, being a real estate broker, being I have no problem talking about money, talking about taxes, money, accounting, real estate investing. But not everybody's like that. I know when I was growing up, money was never talked about. You didn't really talk about it like somehow, and it seems like with old money and never talk about money. It seems like my wealthier friends, we never talk about money. Yeah, maybe it's because they've got money. Maybe it's because they have it. They're not in a desperate need for it, so they don't have to talk about it. They don't have to think about it that much. It seems like the poorer you are, the more you think about money. If you're worried about making rent or the electric bill, or you don't have enough food, or where am I going to get the next bag of Pampers, then you're thinking about money all the time. So how is it? Should the church educate people on money? I kind of lean on the side of, yeah, they should educate the people about everything. Jesus talked about money. Jesus and God in the Old Testament, Jesus in the Old Testament talks about money in the Bible more than any other topic. In the Bible, there's more passages about money than about heaven and hell combined. So money is a big topic, even in the Old Testament and the New Testament. And everybody needs money. You need money to live. You need, it's ubiquitous. It's everywhere. There's dangers with money. There's pleasures with money. You can't. I don't know. What's one way to say it would be the best way to help the poor is not by being one of them, but by being a benefactor. You got to have resources. You got to have money. You got to have stuff to donate. So is it bad being rich? What about that passage? It's harder for a rich man to enter heaven than a camel through the eye of a needle. Yeah. Not impossible. So there's a possibility. Yeah. No. Yes, of course there is a possibility. More than a possibility. It's probably part of. I think my take on that passage is that it's easy to rely on riches. If it's like in America today, it's like everybody's relying on their 401k. Everybody watches their 401k go up and down, and the value of their house go up and down when the cotton's high, when the real estate is high, and the stock market's roaring like it is now. Everybody's happy. When it goes down, everybody feels more cautious. People start talking about God a lot more. It's like, oh yeah, hi there. Oh, you're that guy that said I didn't exist in college, wasn't that? I seem to remember something about there is no God. You're talking about that in college. Now you're come around now that you need money. Okay, I got it. And then, oh, I found my wallet. Sorry. Okay, see you when I get cancer. It's like, what? Do we only talk about God when we're in trouble? So God's not a Santa in the sky. The secret is to follow the book. Follow. It's like a training. It's like a training book. It's like an instruction manual for life. Just a hit and miss here and there is not the secret to a successful life, or even being a Christian. So it's Pastor Ken saying, I think it's okay to talk about money in the church. I think it's okay for churches to monetize themselves in various ways to help support their mission. It's like Stephen Covey of the 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. No margin, no mission. No money, no mission. He said no margin, but basically, if there's no profit, there's no mission. You can't keep the lights on. You can't do anything for poor people or anyone else if you don't have resources. And some of the richest people in history are famous people in the Bible. King Solomon. Some estimates. The richest person in history. King David, very wealthy, still a big personality in the Bible. So, apparently rich people can be strong Christians and even be part of the bloodline of Christ. So, it's not bad being wealthy, I wouldn't say, but is it? There's dangers with wealth, and I think the danger is relying on it instead of God. If you're wealthy, everything's going good. You don't have to talk about God. You think, hey, I got my good 401k here, got my pension or whatever it is, I'm good to go. So what do you guys think? Is it okay for a church to monetize? Is Is the problem with money that you rely on it instead of God? Interested, please answer in the comments below. Until the next time, Pastor Ken of the New Life Church, come on down and see us at church. Come on down and support my work as a tax accountant with New England Professional Services, and love to talk about real estate with you as well. I much like Joel Osteen, I take no money from the church. Instead, I directly, I don't take a salary. Instead, I support myself in other ways, like the Apostle Paul and the tent making ministry, where Apostle Paul makes tents. Well, I do taxes. It's kind of like making tents. Oh, we got to talk about the tax guy in the Bible and what's God think about taxes. We'll talk about that next time. But I support myself in the ministry through taxes, bookkeeping, and real estate. You can support me in that way if you feel. Other than that, hope to see you. Talk to you later. Pastor Ken of the New Life Church of Dixon.